Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Comic Book Users. Welcome to another episode of Inside the Cover. Today we're going to look at a really old one. I'm going to be really careful with this one. This is a classic Fantastic Four number 31. A, look at that cool cover, but B, how busy is that cover? Like, way too much of this stuff. So never mind how great this story is, just take a look at our swinging title, The Mad Menace of the Macabre Mole Man. We've got a real surprise for you. 4. Somewhere in this thriller you'll meet a character very briefly whose identity, when you learn it, will come as a real shock to you. Ready? Okay, see if we're right. The Mole Man, without a doubt, one of the strangest supervillains of all time. So this, I believe, was the third appearance of the Mole Man in the Fantastic Four comic. So here you can see there up in New York, there above the surface, there's the hole going down. You can see that looks like Sue, the invisible girl, is being held captive by the Mole Man's creatures. And then we've got Ben, Johnny, and Reed coming down to help. And there's the Mole Man behind the controls and whatever's going on there, right? And then, of course, is a Jack Kirby cover. This is written by Stan Lee, illustrated by Jack Kirby, inked by Chick Stone, and lettered by Sam Rosen. So, again, I'm going to be really careful with this one. The Mad Menace of the Mole Man. See the Fantastic Four as they dare to defy the mighty Avengers. See the incredible spectacle of the vanished city streets. See the mysterious stranger in the life of Sue Storm. It's kind of like the old, kind of sci-fi movies of the 50s, right? In the early 60s. See the spectacle. See the spectacle. Boom. See the boom. That's kind of what they're going for here, right? So here, as you can see, this is a really interesting picture there. You can see there's an earthquake happening. Look at Reed's neck and head. How crazy is that? Right? Suddenly the whole city is being rocked by the tremors. What's shaking up this joint, says Ben, right? So next they're trying to deal with the situation as best they can before the tremors stop. And then as things are kind of quieting down, right, they need to kind of fix up the where they live. Sue looks down at the newspaper and sees daring escape from state prison extra. She sees this person on the front and she's like, and I'll read it to you. She says, no. Well, first she looks down, she goes, that picture in the paper, it can't be, and yet I've got to make sure. And she goes, no, it is. It is he, after all these years, just when the world had almost forgotten. So Reed is like, Sue, what is it? What's wrong? Whose picture are you staring at in the paper? Nothing, Reed, nothing that concerns you. I'd rather not talk about it. You and the others go along without me because they're going to go out and assess the damage to the city from the earthquake, right? So you guys go along without me. I'll wait here. I have to be alone to think. And he goes, I've never seen her like this. That man in the photo, he's the cause, but who can he be? So Sue says, can there be someone else from the past? Someone she loves more. No, Reed says this. Can there be someone else from the past? Someone she loves more than me? No, I dare not even think about it. So right now he's all of a sudden jealous. Like, who is this person? And Sue is like, they've gone. Now I've got to read it again to make sure there's no mistake. No, it's all here. It's all true. Right? Shall we see what happens, right? So as they're flying about the city, they're noticing that it looks like most of the damage is right in the middle. There's this huge hole that has been opened up right in the middle of downtown Manhattan. So, of course, they're going to go down and check it out. And as they're kind of doing that, right, there you see the Mole Man is the one behind all of this, and he's looking at them through his monitor. It's like, how did they get involved in this all of a sudden? He's like, I knew it was only a matter of time before they would pick up the trail. But this time I'm ready for them. This time the Mole Man shall triumph. All I need is the right hostage, and I found her. With my underground scanner, I've been following her movements, and now I'm ready to strike. Gee, I wonder who that could be, right? So my guess is, there, she's crossing the street, entering a building. It's police headquarters. Now I'll change the scene. I'll make it a distance view. I must take no chances. She must not escape. I'll seize the entire city block again now. Here we get a little ad for 4 Marvel Masterpieces. Amazing Spider-Man. Look at these old issues, right? X-Men, the Avengers with Kang. Oh, great. I actually I don't think I own any of these. No, I do not own any of those. I need them though, right? So after they go back, they figured that let's go back and check on Sue. They go back to the Baxter building, and she's gone. And she's left a note, all right, saying she's gone to the police station. But here we see that, another quake. The Mole Man has actually taken that entire city block where Sue is at in the police station, and he has sunken it down, dragged it down underground. So everybody who obviously was in that block of the city, they are now down in the lair of the Mole Man, and they're all the Mole Man's henchmen. They find Sue Storm in the middle of everything, and they're like, alrighty, bring her to me, says the Mole Man. So he goes, minutes later, twice before you and your accursed partners have frustrated my plan to conquer the surface world. But this time the result shall be different. This time I hold a trump card. And she says, no, you're mad. No matter how powerful you are, no matter how many subterranean subjects you have, you can't defeat all of mankind. Silence, female. Silence, female. Right? So then they post a message over to the Baxter building to let the rest of the Fantastic Four know that they've got Sue. All right, so then of course the guys are like, all right, let's hop in the Fantasticopter, and we've got to get whatever they call that ship, I forget. And they go down below the surface. Okay, so here you got some classic Kirby art there. And here in the battle begins. All right, they're making their way down. A lot going on in this one. A lot of dialogue, of course. The plane, not the copter, it's the plane. Kind of crashes, right? Ben busts them all out of there. Okay, then they've got to figure out a way to get back down below. Or actually, sorry, they are down below. And there's the Mole Man. He's holding Sue Storm. And then the Mole Man, with his little gun thingy there, gets them all to fly back up to the surface. And up at the top of the surface, who's there waiting? Look, it's the Avengers. Thor, Iron Man, Giant Man, Captain America. So basically they're like, okay, well, if you guys couldn't take care of the situation, we'll go down and take care of it. No big deal. But Reed is like, wait, come back. You've got to let me explain. Do not worry, Reed Richards. Our power shall be equal to the task. Jets on. Let's move. So, and Reed is like, I said, wait. Okay, so Thor, of course, is kind of pissed off. What, you dare? You know, because basically they don't know that Sue is being held prisoner down below. So they convince the Avengers to kind of wait and let them go take care of it all. So they actually go do that. And, of course, Iron Man hooks up Reed with some kind of little gadget machine thing down there. Or up there. They go down below and attempt to rescue Sue. And here the battle begins. Okay, they get Sue. She escapes. Okay, Ben comes in. Of course, it's clobbering time, right? There you have it. So, little by little, they are taking control of the situation. Oh, more Triumphs for Marvel, now on sale. And in the end, of course, they actually do rescue Sue, but she has been hurt in the melee. So they bring her to a hospital. And they're like, many x-rays later, sis, you've got to pull through. No sense pulling any punches, Richards. It's critical. No man on the staff would attempt the operation required. So there must be someone who can save her. There's only one man who's ever successfully performed such an operation. Then get him, no matter what the cost, no matter where he is, get him. I wish I could. He stopped practicing medicine years ago. I don't know where he is. Then there's no hope for Sue. There's always hope. You must cling to that thought, but we can do no more. I can't give up. At least tell me the doctor's name. Perhaps we can use him. It's useless, Richards. He had been in prison. In fact, he escaped only recently. He's not likely to give himself up just to save another. Don't be too sure of that, doctor. Is that the man whose picture Sue saw in the paper? You, but all these years, Sue told me you were dead. It can't be. It can't be. It is. I wanted you to think I was dead, son. I've caused enough sorrow to your poor mother. I didn't want to hurt my children also. But when I heard the radio bulletin about Sue, Dad, oh Dad, you're back. There's no time to lose. We'll prepare her for surgery. So really that person that she saw in the newspaper who had escaped from prison was her estranged father. Her and Johnny's estranged dad. There he is at the bottom corner there. So he is actually a surgeon who got into some trouble with the law. And he actually does the little operation needed on Sue. Amazing how, the simple little operation, but of course she's critical, right? And we never talk about this afterwards. So then, of course, the operation is a success. Johnny, Reed, and Ben are all sorts of happy, but then, of course, the authorities show up, and they are going to, bring him back to prison. But he feels, good that at least he says here, Dr. Storm, I'm ready, Inspector. I've been waiting for you. You must have known we'd get you if you came here. And Johnny's like, Dad, he goes, my daughter will be conscious soon. Could I see her once more before I go? It's against regulations. I'll assume the responsibility, Inspector. Reed says. Well, in that case, shall we go in together, Johnny? You bet, Dad. So they go in to visit Sue, who's in recovery. And then, of course, they go to take their father away back to prison. The end. All right. Will we see the Mole Man another day? I think that's a safe bet, right? So cool, kind of like a one-issue story. There were a lot of these early on in Marvel days. They at this point in time, this was I don't think I read the year. This was 1964. So back in these days, they weren't doing a lot of these big, long, epic storylines that covered multiple issues and sometimes multiple books and things. But a lot of these more kind of like one-off things. So I hope you like this one. This is a cool one. Again, this is an old one. I sometimes these old issues that I have are kind of like they're just hanging on by a thread. So I don't really do the inside the covers because I don't want to kind of open them up. But this one is holding up pretty well. So I figured let me open this one up for you. So this is a gem of an old issue. Issue number 31, Fantastic Four, 1964, with the Mole Man. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell. We've also got the links below to our the Sea of Tranquility merch page where you can get a cool comic book Geezers t-shirt. So check that out as well. And please hit that like button before you leave. So stay tuned for more episodes here on Comic Book Geezers, either with myself or with Wild Bill, coming up in the days ahead. So thanks for watching, everybody. I am Pete Pardo. See you real soon here on Comic Book Geezers. Take care. Bye-bye.